Well, it does look like we are in for a wetter weather pattern over the next several days with a lot of the tropical moisture that's been involved from Isaac. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still here with your Tuesday morning forecast. And as we go on through the next couple days here, it's going to have that tropical feel to the atmosphere. Part of it is that moisture from Isaac, given the humid conditions, and it's going to remain on the warm side. We're going to be in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, running a little bit above average for this time of year. Again, any shower or storm that does form is going to be able to capitalize on that high precipitable water that we do have in place for us here in eastern Carolina and give us those tropical heavy downpours. Also, we remain very active as far as the tropics are concerned. We've got Leslie and Tropical Depression 13 out there. None of those will have a direct impact on us here in eastern Carolina, although we'll track the higher waves from Leslie as we go on through here. Here's your Storm Track 12 forecast for our Tuesday. East of Highway 17 this morning into the early afternoon hours. Could see an isolated thunder shower or two around. That'll give us kind of a mixture of sun and clouds. Further inland, though, I think we'll have a good deal of sunshine and temperatures upper 80s to near 90 degrees, but feeling more like the mid-90s when you factor in that humidity. Overnight tonight, kind of a repeat. Patchy fog, maybe an isolated thunder shower along the coast. Not completely out of the question. Mid-70s for overnight lows. Now, tomorrow, more sunshine around, but some high-level clouds start to come in the afternoon. And west of Highway 258, I think we do have a chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. Again, any of those potentially could have a brief heavy downpour with them. We'll hold temperatures into the mid-80s with a little bit more cloud cover for tomorrow. You can definitely tell where the heavier rainfall has been within the last 24 hours. Yeah, along the coastal sections. That's where we do have Morehead City clocking in with over an inch and almost an inch and a quarter of rainfall. Now, we are tracking the upper level low pressure system with Isaac. That's that swirl you see out there in Tennessee. Yeah, it's really starting to become diffuse right now, but it has ejected that tropical moisture, the remnant moisture from Isaac, into our forecast, and as a result, this upper level low is going to continue to back off towards the south and the west with a front coming in from the north, but yeah, really that front just kind of stalls out, and a lot of this has to do with what is going on at the jet stream level, that ribbon of air up around 35,000 feet. Let's break this down here. This right here, this is key to where Leslie's ultimately going to track. This is an upper level high pressure system that's been nosing westbound. And this was part of the reason why I thought that Leslie was going to at least get west of Bermuda. Remember last week, a lot of the tracks were taking it east of Bermuda, and I kept saying I didn't like the way it was handling it. I thought it was going to miss the connection with the trough that grabbed Isaac, and well, sure enough, it looks like that's what it's doing. Now, that trough may eventually get Tropical Depression 13 that we'll talk about here in a minute, but that's going to allow Leslie to continue to drift further off towards the west. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be contacting us here in eastern Carolina. It could be a close call for New England and may make landfall in Atlantic Canada. Again, you'll notice here as we go on through the day today and through tomorrow, that upper level low pressure system left over from Isaac is actually backing off to the southwest here, feeling that weakness in between the two ridges here. And you'll notice that this, again, is key for Leslie out here, how it kind of weakens a little bit and it allows that pathway for Leslie to at least make a run towards the New England and Atlantic Canada area here. Now, meanwhile, next trough digging down is sitting back here across the Great Lakes, and that will swing in as we head on into the weekend. You'll notice just off the screen here, the model picking up on Leslie, allowing it to pass by. We get this big trough that digs in across the Tennessee River Valley, and if there is that upper level low from Isaac, sitting down here, that potentially could be picked up and slung up along the eastern seaboard as we go on through this weekend. So that's something we'll have to watch. Again, not saying that we're going to see a tropical system, but maybe just some enhanced tropical moisture from that. So as we go through the day today, isolated showers and thunder showers east of Highway 17, inland spots, plenty of sunshine around. The moisture from Isaac really soaking those out at the Charlotte and the Triangle Triad area out of the Democratic National Convention. As we go through tomorrow, west of Highway 258 in the afternoon and evening hours, showers and thunderstorms will start to work their way inland here And as a result, we will be looking at some of those brief heavy downpours associated with this tropical moisture that we do have in place. That'll last in through Thursday. If I had to pick any day of this week that we did have the best chance of rainfall, it looks like it will be Thursday, and then we'll have to see how much the pattern goes as we head through Friday, Saturday, and even in through Sunday. All right, in the tropics right now, we've been watching Leslie here, really starting to ingest a lot of dry air in on the west side of it, starting to get some shear as well. Notice the thunderstorms, the deeper purples look better late last night than they do early this morning, so the low-level center is kind of not able to really wrap that moisture around it. Very disorganized system. And over here, this is Tropical Depression 13. Now, it's wrapped up with an upper-level low. And of course, you got counterclockwise flow around that, so that kind of ventilates this area here. However, you'll notice this is the trough back here that had been forecasted to grab Leslie and recurve it. Problem is, though, you'll notice kind of this is that connection. Leslie, not really, you don't see the clouds peeling off like that. So as a result, this missed that connection. It's just going to have a chance to kind of meander here. This is Bermuda right here. And you will notice this, I get a feeling it's going to be continuing to go further off towards the west. Again, I'm not saying we're going to get it back here in eastern Carolina, but it definitely is further west than what a lot of the forecast models were originally projecting last week. So, Hurricane Center eventually takes this a little bit further west of Bermuda, but notice the slow progress with this, and only as we go in through this weekend does it potentially get to a Category 2 hurricane. Now, what we will see, though, is some of the higher surf from this. This is our forecast computer simulation of what the waves will be like. And you do notice here that as we go in through Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we start to get some of those higher waves closer to the coast here for us in eastern Carolina. So I got a feeling that you're going to be seeing a lot of the surfers headed towards the beaches this weekend with some of the higher surf that will be up, and that also will lend itself to a higher rip current threat. So, forecast as we go through the next couple of days, things very consistent as far as temperatures are concerned, very warm, very muggy, talking about upper 80s to near 90 degrees, just really kind of dependent on the amount of sunshine we ultimately get. Showers and thunderstorms scattered about in different locations in the afternoon and evening hours, and again, any of those potentially could have some brief heavy downpours with them as a result of the high precipitable tropical water that we do have in place for us here in eastern Carolina. All right, have yourself a good Tuesday. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Stone. We'll see you back here tomorrow.